It's extremely well known that when Lexus introduced the LS400 in 1989, they completely upended the car market. Up until that point, nobody actually thought that the Japanese would enter the luxury car space and actually make a considerable dent, which is exactly what they did. And with two major revisions introduced to the LS400 that even today are considered legendary, Lexus bumped the bar even higher with the introduction of the LS430. This LS430 is actually one of the earliest production 430s out there. It rolled off the Tahara plant assembly line in November of 2000 and was sold just barely 2 months later on January 3rd, 2001, somewhere in Central Florida. It's a pretty special date because it just so happens to be exactly 25 years ago to the day this video was released, and it goes without saying that that's a lot of time for things to go wrong. I actually found paperwork in the car showing that sale date, and it also shows that the previous owner traded in a 97 ES300 on this thing. How freaking cool is that? Homie was riding in style. There's actually a whole laundry list of problems, including the driver's mirror, the driver's door card, wheels, brakes, shocks, damage to the front bumper, the rear bumper has peeling on it. And I plan to address every single one of these problems and then some, but we've got to start somewhere, so let's jump in with the steering wheel telescoping tilt motor. First of all, the telescope tilt in and out, up and down of the steering wheel doesn't work at all, which is a massive pain because anytime you get in, like this thing is supposed to lift up. It's supposed to have like this comfort access, but you have to like do this crazy judo where you get your foot in there and under, and I can do it, it's no problem. But anytime somebody else gets in the car, it's always a hassle and something that they struggle with. And then of course, just not being able to move the wheel sucks. Sometimes you do want to move it and it just doesn't move. So we got to fix that. To begin our quest,
go with honor, friend.
We first have to get our hands on a replacement tilt motor. We can first check the dealership website, but they want an astronomical $500 for this part, so we won't be getting it from them. Luckily, we've got a real life cheat code suspended in my driveway right now. The late model 98-00 LS400's tilt motor is actually identical to the ones in the first 3 model years of LS430, so let's go steal it. We do have to take off all these trim covers. Ah, yes. There she is. Here's that motor in question, and it just simply has 2 little rods that move the whole steering column in and out or up and down. All we have to do is get the little screws out of the side of it, unplug the connectors, take off a little circlip, and then just simply unscrew the whole motor out of the shaft, and then we can take it to the 430. Okay, so on the LS430, it is basically an identical process to get that little motor out, just like it is on the 400. We're gonna go ahead and toss this in and hope that our telescope has returned. Okie dokie. New motor is in. Let's go ahead and plug these connectors back up. Got the one in the motor, so we can go in. Yay. Excellent news. And out. And can we go up? Oh, okay, maybe we're all the way up. Yes! Oh! It only moves up and down a tiny, tiny bit, actually. What's the deal with that? It's pretty good. It at least functions. Now, one thing I'm not a huge fan of is this big screw right here that controls the in and out motion. When it goes in and out, you can see it starts spinning for a second and then the whole column moves. It looks like there's some bushings in there or something that are worn out. So I'll do some investigating on that, but that sounds like a problem for a future JJ, honestly. Success! First of many repairs completed. We come out, we come up and down. Yeah, baby. Next up on the list of things I should have done a long time ago is fix the headlights. They look awful. I bought a McGuire's headlight restoration kit, so let's go ahead and full send this outside in the sunlight. Okay, so let me be the first to say that I know literally nothing about detailing, but I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna learn it. Here's a cool little shot of me partially reading the directions. At this point, I pretty much didn't look above the number 1. I immediately jumped into how we work this thing, and there's a really important thing that I missed with regard to temperature and sunlight exposure, so just remember that on my behalf for later. This feels bad. Now it wants me to move to the 3000 pad, but this time we're gonna go up and down. All right, so now it wants me to clean it and dry it. It's like, it looks great for a second and then it comes back. Why does it do that? Why does it do this? This is so annoying. I feel like it's scratched worse now. After the 2 rounds of sanding and lots of cleaning, it was finally time for the last step, which is to use the little sealant wipe to cover the headlight, which is what gives it its glassy appearance. And once we started doing that, as you can see, I started to have a little bit of hope that this might just go right. That looks legit. Wow. That's like a brand new headlight comparatively. Look at the difference. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. It is truly so much better. I mean, it's like ridiculous how good it looks. Oh my God. While we sit here and enjoy this view, I wanted to talk. Wait, what's happening? What happened to our lights? They were so beautiful. Well, as you know, I was a very bad boy and get to drive my ass back to the store to buy the same kit and do the same job again less than 24 hours later. Except this time, I'm removing the headlights entirely off the car, doing the whole thing again, sanding, cleaning, polishing. But the good news is that these puppies are shined all the way back up and are safely curing inside my office, hiding from the evil Florida dew and random temperature swings. Just don't tell my wife I have car parts inside the house. It's always so funny to me how terrible cars look without their headlights. It's like those fish that live underwater that like clearly they have eye sockets, but they just evolved not to need them. In a sick and twisted way, having to do this headlight twice has given me some clarity on what it's gonna take to fix this front bumper. Because if you look, it's actually like completely ripped off and separated. Like that is the piece that it's supposed to be joined to right here. And it's just not. It just like somehow fully cracked off of that. So I don't know if like something got pushed in right here and it basically just snapped it off. But I mean, this whole clip situation in here is bungo. That's obviously less than ideal. So don't really know how that's fixable, but is most definitely a problem for future me. While we're here, I wanted to share a quick update on the previous video. This 2000 LS400 I decided to part out, as you know from the last video, and we're now over $1,500 in sales, which was exactly my goal, so I'm super stoked. I still have a ton of good parts like seats and transmission and interior bits, so if you need any of those, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. And while hunting for parts to pull and sell off of this LS400, I made a discovery that totally blew my mind. What you're looking at is a factory perfect, never mounted, brand new matching LS400 wheel. And while that may not sound super crazy, to me it was a fascinating glimpse into what these cars were like 25 years ago, seeing this wheel and meeting two new friends, Parker and Alex, who each have the cleanest LS400s I've ever seen, inspired me to get this LS430 back to its former glory and make sure that this isn't another LS430 that gets lost to 25 years of neglect. Speaking of neglect, I've neglected this floppy driver mirror for too long because this is another part that Toyota Lexus claims is not serviceable. The problem is that there's just a little clip inside the mirror that keeps tension on a spring, and after 25 years, that clip just wears out, and then you have noodle mirror. There's really only two ways to fix it. The first being just replace it with a used mirror, or second option is do something that's pretty janky and drill a hole in this shaft, then put a cotter pin through it to keep tension on that spring. But to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this second option because really it's not a proper fix, but I figured it was worth a shot. Instead, I basically shot myself in the foot by drilling badly and making the whole mirror worse, so I went ahead and did what I just should have done from the beginning and purchased a shiny, new-to-me replacement mirror assembly. And so sadly, as the car sits right now, it's headlightless and mirrorless, but that's just how these projects go sometimes. Sometimes you're just dead in the water and there's nothing you can do but hurry up and wait, and that's exactly what we have to do here. I hope you'll join me on this series of LS430 based calamities by subscribing. There's a lot of really good stuff coming up and we're really just getting started. I hope you liked this new format of video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!